Hello, beautiful souls. Today we're in for another day, and I am looking forward to it as always. So as I flip to our page, we are on to lesson 99. We're almost finished with 100 lessons. Holy smokes, did we ever collapse time? But with lesson 99, we are on to salvation is my only function here. Salvation is my only function here. So let's read through and see what Jesus has in store for us today. Salvation and forgiveness are the same. They both imply that something has gone wrong, something you need to be saved from or forgiven for, something amiss that needs corrective change, something apart or different from the will of God. Thus do both terms imply something impossible, but yet which has occurred, resulting in a state of conflict between what is and what never could be. Wow, potent and perfect. This is reminding me of the Course principle that it says miracles are natural. When they do not occur, something has gone wrong. But what has gone wrong is a mere mistaken thought and believing that what could never happen did. And that's why our function is forgiveness, is salvation. Because in the forgiven perception, do we undo what we thought had happened, realize it never happened, and jump right back into what is. The presence of peace, the presence of safety, the presence of the reality of the love of our Father for us and through us. It's a beautiful thing. Truth and illusions are both equal now, for both have happened. The impossible becomes the thing you need forgiveness for. Salvation from. Salvation is the borderland between the truth and illusion. It reflects the truth because it is the means by which you escape illusions. Yet it is not the truth because it undoes what was never done. And that's why salvation and forgiveness are only here for the time and space continuum. Because we don't need salvation and forgiveness in eternity, in reality with God. That's why when we're here in form, dreaming that we could be something that we are not, salvation and forgiveness are our only function, to allow us to remember what the truth is, to leave illusions behind, and allow all our brothers and sisters to join us in this borderland together. How could there be a meeting place at all where earth and heaven can be reconciled within a mind where both of them exist? The mind that sees illusions thinks them real. They have existence in that they are thoughts, and yet they are not real because the mind that thinks these thoughts is separate from God. I'm going to read this last sentence again because it's quite imperative to the learning and understanding of how all this works. The mind that sees illusions thinks them real. The mind thinks that they are real. They have existence in that they are thoughts, and yet they are not real because the mind that thinks these thoughts is separate from God. The only way we could think separate from God is by having a mind that's separate from God's. This mind that is separate from God's is not our true mind, is not our reality. They are false thoughts. Therefore, these thoughts are not true. And it is forgiveness that we are applying to these thoughts that are untrue to allow the reinterpretation to occur so that we could truly see what's going on in reality and not think that we see what's going on through the illusions of these thoughts that we've accepted in our mind. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. What joins the separated mind and the thoughts with mind and thought which are forever one? What plan could hold the truth inviolate, yet recognize the need illusions bring, and offer means by which they are undone without attack and with no touch of pain? What but a thought of God could be this plan by which the never done is overlooked and sins forgotten which were never real? That's why salvation is our only function here, because salvation is a thought of God that overlooks the other thoughts that we believed to be true before. And there is no attack and no pain associated with salvation/forgiveness. The Holy Spirit holds this plan of God exactly as it was received of him within the mind of God and in your own. It is apart from time in that its source is timeless. Yet it operates in time because of your belief that time is real. Unshaken does the Holy Spirit look on what you see, on sin and pain and death, on grief and separation and loss. Yet does he know one thing must still be true. God still is love, and this is not his will. This is the thought which brings illusions to the truth, and sees them as appearances, behind which is the changeless and the sure. This is the thought which saves and which forgives, because it lays no faith in what is not created by the source it knows. This is how we have to trust this whole process of salvation, because it is the function of the Holy Spirit to remind us that it is our function too. To overlook all of the crappy days and crappy experiences that we've had here and allow ourselves to become open to a complete reinterpretation, which allows us to bring the illusions to truth, where the Holy Spirit and God and our true self reside. This is the thought whose function is to save by giving you its function as your own. Indeed. Salvation is your function with the one to whom the plan was given. Now are you entrusted with this plan along with him? He has one answer to appearances, regardless of their form, their size, their depth, or any attribute they seem to have. And this is what we're told. Salvation is my only function here. God still is love, and this is not his will. Salvation is my only function here. God still is love, and this is not his will. Anything that is not love is not his will. Anything that is not loving is not his will. Period. You who will yet work miracles, be sure you practice well the idea for today. It's a course in miracles. What do you know? We are remembering that we are miracle workers, so we must practice the idea for today. Try to perceive the strength in what you say, for these are words in which your freedom lies. Your Father loves you. All the world of pain is not his will. Forgive yourself the thought he wanted this for you. Then let the thought with which he has replaced all your mistakes enter the darkened places of your mind, which thought the thoughts that never were his will. And that's exactly what happens. We get to see the thoughts that we have believed to be true, that, are related to us and to God. And once we see what we previously thought to be true through the eyes of this light, through the eyes of the truth that salvation is my only function here, we see the unreality of those darkened thoughts. The darkness is gone. Those thoughts are gone. All that remains is the light and the presence of our Father's love and the truth that we are as he created us to be. This is what we're aiming for today, beautiful souls, a complete cleansing of the illusions to truth. This part belongs to God, as does the rest. It does not think its solitary thoughts and make them real by hiding them from him. Let in the light, and you will look upon no obstacle to what he wills for you. Open your secrets to his kindly light and see how bright his light still shines on you. Oh, I think that's key, because ego offers guilt, so we feel guilty for what we think that we've done and what others have done. And so we are holding them secret to ourselves because we think that we have sinned and done something wrong, and we don't want anyone, including God, to see them. But God and the Holy Spirit and Jesus are saying, show it to me, bring it to me, give me your secrets, give me your darkness, give me your guilt and your sin and your fear, give it to me. This is how we bring the illusions to the truth, and all of that is transformed in the light of our Father's love. All we need to do is be willing to open up that casket. Open up that casket of mind and let the light come streaming on through. We have done nothing wrong. Practice his thought today, and let his light seek out and lighten up all darkened spots and shine through them to join them to the rest. It is God's will your mind be one with his. It is God's will that he has but one son. It is God's will that his one son is you. Yes, it is Jesus, but it's you too. It's me too. This one son is this one self that we all are. Think of these things in practicing today and start your longer practice periods with this instruction in the way of truth. Here's our instruction. Salvation is my only function here. Salvation and forgiveness are the same. Then turn to him who shares your function with you, and let him teach you what you need to learn to lay all fear aside and know yourself as love, which has no opposite in you. This love has no opposite in you. It's whole and complete. Forgive all thoughts which would oppose the truth of your completeness, unity, and peace. You cannot lose the gifts your Father gave. You do not want to be another self. You have no function that is not of God. Forgive yourself the one you think you made. Forgiveness and salvation are the same. Forgive what you have made, and you are saved. Beautiful thing, we made this world. We made this false identity of body and form. We can forgive that and see the truth instead. Jesus is reminding us here that you have a special message for today, which has the power to remove all forms of doubt and fear forever from your mind. If you are tempted to believe them true, remember that appearances cannot withstand the truth these mighty words contain. Salvation is my only function here. God still is love, and this is not his will. Salvation is my only function here. God still is love, and this is not his will. Your only function tells you you are one. Remind yourself of this between the times you give 5 minutes to be spared with him who shares God's plan with you. Remind yourself, salvation is my only function here. Thus do you lay forgiveness on your mind, and let all fear be gently laid aside, that love may find its rightful place in you, and show you that you are the Son of God. And so, all the beautiful blessings and promises that God has given his beautiful Son of God, that is us. Those blessings have been given us. Today we will receive. And if we think that that is not true, then that is why we're here to remember that salvation is my only function here. Salvation is my only function here. And accepting the salvation and forgiveness for ourselves, we are free and know ourselves to be the Son of God. And so it is. I love you, beautiful souls. Have a wonderful, beautiful day.